Have you ever been in a time in your life where you have so much going on and you feel like you could drown in it all? Maybe you really just need to finish up your exams and do really well. Maybe you want to start your side hustle, or maybe it's already started and you are like on the brink of growing it and you need to focus on it, but then you also have this mean boss who's making you do all this work. Maybe there's too much going on. Hello and welcome to We Wear Wellness, where we talk about mindset, spirituality, productivity, mental health, and all that good stuff. In this video, I am going to share the 4 tips that I have for you so that you are not drowning in this craziness, but instead you're riding the waves of all these aspects of your life and sort of balancing on your surfboard, and looking really awesome while doing it, because that's who we are. So just keep watching for the 4 tips, and the last one is the most important, so stay tuned for that. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is having a routine. A routine is very helpful for your mind when things go stressful, because when you have a set routine, your brain knows exactly what's coming next. It doesn't have to think about it and waste energy and time thinking about, okay, what should I do next, or what needs to be done, or how does this day look like? But if you have a routine, it can just automatically go to the next task, right? And that just saves up a lot of thinking space and energy for your brain to worry about other tasks. So for example, if you have a very hectic day or you have a lot of things going on, just even having a morning routine, it tells your brain, what you need to do for the first 2 hours after you wake up. And that really saves the brain power for your brain so that it can use it on other things throughout the day, on other tasks. And the same goes with an evening routine. When you are reaching the end of the day, your brain has used a lot of its power and a lot of its energy. And by having an evening routine, you will be able to, continue with your healthy habits rather than maybe drinking or watching Netflix, or not that those are bad things, but everything in moderation, right? And if that's not what you wanted to do, maybe you wanted to journal or meditate or just have a relaxing bath, then if you have that already as a routine, it's going to be a lot easier for your brain to choose those habits, because it's part of what it's used to. Your brain likes, comfort and just being used to things. And so that's why a routine is really, really, really helpful for 2 reasons: because it helps you stay on track with your healthy habits, like I mentioned, and it saves brain power for the other tasks that you need to be working on when life gets crazy. So the second thing that can help you when your life is going crazy is emotional regulation. Our brains, whether you give it work or you give it emotions, it takes up a lot of energy. And that's why try to stay out of drama. Try to, if there's some toxic relationships, maybe you want to end them or just step away from them for a while, at least while this busyness subsides. If there is some hard conversation that you need to have, I'm not saying don't have it, but maybe you want to put it off for a little bit until you are in the space where you have that mental capacity to have that conversation. And this also relates with just having a positive mindset, because when you have a positive mindset and you're balanced emotionally, your brain power increases, right? Like you have that much more energy for all the other tasks that you need to be doing. And so it's very, very important. So, you might just try to avoid negativity. Maybe you avoid even like horror movies or negative drama filled movies. Maybe you just don't call that friend who has a bunch of drama in her life. All of these things. And then even dealing with your own emotions. It's very, very, very important to keep cleaning your emotions. So if there's anything, negative under the surface, bothering you maybe, or something that somebody said, or some sort of fear that's going on, look at it, address it, and really try to work on reframing it from negative to positive, because it's very important. If you keep holding on to that negativity, it's going to distract you, make you feel anxious, and take away that brain power, and it's going to be like another added stress when you have all these other things going on, right? So really focus on balancing your emotions during this time. So if you have a lot on your plate, it is so tempting to multitask, right? Or think about a bunch of things. Maybe you are working on one thing, but then you start worrying about the second thing, and maybe then you start working on the second, and then you think about the third thing, and you're just like going all over the place and getting confused and multitasking, thinking you're being very productive and being very busy. Maybe you feel that adrenaline and you're like, yeah, I got this. But then you realize you're not actually getting anything done. And this is so, so, so common, right? We all multitask. What I want to encourage you is to focus on deep work. So deep work is this concept where you focus on one thing at a time and you really get into it, right? It's not the shallow work. It's going to take creativity. It's going to involve problem solving. It's going to be work that is like quality work, okay? And so how do you get into your deep work session? Single task. focus on that one thing at a time and block out all distractions. This might look like just time blocking your day in the morning so that you know, okay, for 2 hours, I'm just focusing on this one task, and don't even open another tab. Don't even think about the other task. Don't, pick up your phone if someone's calling. Just focus. Dedicate it to extreme focus. And if you need to zone out, again, zone out, but stay in that session, if that makes sense. So don't pick up your phone to distract yourself or open another tab or start working on something else. Just let yourself zone out in that moment and come back exactly there, because you will. When you have nothing else to do, then you will just come back to that productive session, right? And my fourth and last tip is to take breaks. That sounds counterintuitive, because if you take a break, then you're not doing something, and if you're not doing something, then wouldn't you have to do it later, right? That's what most of us think, but that's not the case. That's not how it works, because time and energy is not linear, and it's not just give and take, give and take, give and take. If you think about it, you're much more focused in the morning. You're much more productive in the morning. But if you get too busy over time, over the day, you will get less and less and less efficient and less productive. For example, if you don't sleep, if you try to just work for 24 hours, how good do you think your work will be? It's going to be bad, right? And so that's why breaks are very important. So just by taking a 5-minute break even, you can refresh your mind so that you come back and do the same task that would have taken you probably 1 hour if you didn't take the break. But now you have that clarity in your mind and that brain power, and you're energized and you feel refreshed. So when you come back, it might only take you 20 minutes. And so in total, maybe you spent 5 minutes, but you saved 40 minutes. So if you do the math, basically you saved 35 minutes in total. But that is something that I really, really want to highlight, is when things get stressful, when you have a lot on your plate, it is so easy to just keep powering through and thinking that, okay, if I just get through this, if I get through that, if I get through this, I can then just be done with this whole thing. But your productivity is decreasing, and it's adding that stress and that anxiety to your body, to your nervous system, which will have a longer impact. So not only will it affect you and your productivity today, but even after you're done and you wake up tomorrow, you're going to be 1% less productive, because it's affected your nervous system, right? And that's why people burn out as well, because when there's that constant stress over a long time, it has a physical impact on your body. And so really take breaks. It can be really easy to just go from one thing to another, to another, to another, to another, but taking breaks, balancing your emotions as well, and just being in that ebb and flow of working and putting in that effort, energy out and also energy in, relaxing, refreshing, rejuvenating, and balancing that will help you be the most productive. Because if you go too much in one way, it's just going to pull you down and going to have a negative impact on what you're actually trying to achieve. So I don't want you to think that here, in this video, I'm just, motivating you and inspiring you to take a break or take care of yourself. I am, but my actual goal is actually to help you be more productive throughout this whole thing. And you can only do that when you take breaks and when you balance your life. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to share with you. That's how I have been managing very stressful time in my life personally, and how I am still okay, more or less. 2 years ago, I would have burned out by now and cried and given up on everything. That's actually happened in the past. So yeah, I've learned from my mistakes, and I just want to share that with you. I hope this was helpful. Of course, like, comment, subscribe. I'd love to know, which tip would help you the most, or which tip you're going to implement. And I'd also love to know what sort of content you like, whether you want more productivity tips or things to balance your mental health or mental wellness or spirituality, or just things that are going on in my life, maybe examples of how I implement all these tips that I shared with you in my life personally. So let me know. I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, and mwah.